Okay, so Vogel released this Katana Zero Jungle stage. It's based on a DLC. And it's going to sound like I'm going to be very mean to
Round
Vogel
one.
in this video, but that is not my intention. Now, the first thing I noticed on his version was when you pull left, when the other character or, the player two is on the right side of the screen. So, it says it's pulling them left. When you try to walk left, that means like a bunch of the bound code is all messed up. So that was my main goal at first when I was trying to fix this. And I was giving the stage a pretty good rating in my stage select, but I should not have. This is actually the most damaged stage I've ever worked on. I was paying attention to, the bound rule problem so much and some other things and like scaling that I didn't really take a good look at the sprites. And these trees back here, they're just completely damaged to hell and back. Every sprite is damaged actually, which I'll show off more in a moment. But things just have giant chunks out of them. There's stray pixels everywhere. There's so many problems. Okay, I'm going to take a closer look at his sprites now to show off what I mean. Like, every sprite in this file is severely damaged. Like, even some basic stuff that shouldn't be like, should be no-brainers are damaged. Like, okay, for example, this is like a background layer that's only supposed to be one color, basically, and he's got all these dots all over it. Damn thing. Yeah, like, that needs, so I cleaned all this up. I turned it into the blank it should be on my file. Like, that is like the least I did. But, okay, so back to the damaged versions. As you can see, the sky, he didn't bother to set like a dud color as a transparency color in this, so he's got all these dots that were probably should be left alone as part of the clouds. They're all ripped out, so that's all messed up. These clouds aren't too bad, but they still have like straight pixels on the edges. I cleaned all that up. But take a look at these mountains. These mountains are just, yeah, there's like the giant bites taken out of them. Like, that can't be right. Like a sheer cliff face on the side of that mountain. What I assume happened here, yeah, like here you can see giant just chunks bitten out of it. I assume he was grabbing colors to like, remove off the sides. And he just grabbed a little too colors too many. Like he took away, like I assume there's like an even brighter pink that was like here as part of this mountain. And he probably accidentally destroyed that when he was trying to remove this from whatever background it was attached to. So yeah, he's ripped it to hell. So much so that I can't even like predict like what it should have been. So when I was dealing with this mountain sprite, I just sort of like Frankenspited some usable parts together. So I had to just make the best of that. Okay, that's 023. Let's see. Yeah, I just kind of Frankenspited it together and I reduced colors and stuff. So it's much more cleaner on my version. Let's go back to the original. Yeah, like, so this is, he has like 3 layers of this like forest background. And once again, I think he got a little rip happy. Because, like, look, this is all chunked out. I don't think that's supposed to be natural. Like, there's just stuff floating in the air. And all these pixels over there. Yeah, but when I see stuff just floating in the air, once again, I think there was like an extra color and he got rip happy. And took it out when he shouldn't have. And it's just, yeah, like, I think these are some, like, darker colors that should have been cleaned out. There's more holes in it. So I, like, really took my time and tried to clean this up and remove stray pixels and fill things back in, or best guess. Yeah, best guess, because I had to guess at where things should be. And yeah, you can see all these like color fade damage around these edges here. This one's even worse. Like, just, is that natural? Is that supposed to be how it looks? Or is there a color chunk missing out of that rounded it out that's gone now? Like, I just had to do so much cleanup here. Just chunks ripped out. Like, that can't be right. That's almost got to be a color missing right there. So, had to really try to redo this from scratch. And the Sprite, the next one, looks almost identical to the last one. Like, if you look, there's this, you can see these little, like, weird notch trees here. And if we look on the last one, the weird notch trees are still here. So after I cleaned up this greenish brown one, instead of making it a whole new Sprite, I just switched the palettes and placed a new one based on the colors used in this one, though this one doesn't have the same colors as the other one, so I had to kind of improvise. What was that? Okay, that was 038, okay. Yeah, I like added new colors in based on the colors of, yeah, like I had to clean this up, tried to smooth everything out, remove stray pixels and everything. And like in that big hole over here, I just held it with the color that seemed like the most logical color to be next to it. So I cleaned that all up. At so many points, I just thought of quitting. When I started to work on it, I had no idea the mess I was getting into. At first, I was just like, oh, I just fixed the bound pull problem. And then like it just kept getting more and more deep. So this has got to be like day 4 of working on this stage. Okay, so the next main thing. And look at this chopper. Okay, so clearly we have pixels just floating around in the sky next to the chopper that can't be right. And once again, like I know he blew this up because of like how it looks. It looks like he resized an image before he did this because it looks all blocky and weird. But the main problem with this is, once again, there's just a notch out of this that doesn't look right at all. But the main issue is these helicopter blades. Now, like, what is this? Like, is that supposed to be shine that got messed up? Once again, it looks like he grabbed colors he shouldn't have. Like, I assume this, like, little white pattern was supposed to extend further up. Now, if he wants to do, like, an animation like this again, I would advise him to use Mugen's in-game resizers from, like, Mugen 1.0 and up, where you can just go into here in the scale and, you know, go... So he could have taken the original, instead of resizing it in animatronic, he could have just resized it in this, instead of blowing up whatever he used to make these sprites. So yeah, just massive damage on these blades. Like, I don't even know where to begin on some of them. Like, holy crap, like, what am I supposed to do with that? In theory, I did do something with it. And it's on every picture. Like, that's... like, what am I supposed to do? That? Like, it should be like a solid blade, but it's like all this, like, ripped, notched look from him destroying colors he probably shouldn't have. And he didn't, in his version, he didn't even make sure to align the chopper in the art. Like, if we go to these different files, like, the chopper's all over the place. He didn't even make sure, like, so, like, if I was going to be him, even if the art is messed up, I'd focus on a part like this and just make sure that part is in the same position every time. But he didn't do that. And not only didn't he do that, the chopper itself, the outlines, they're not consistent either. So the chopper itself, like the sprites aren't, so you can see the outlines are kind of jerking around, at least with the ones where it's close to being in the same position. Yeah, like 4 and 3 there, totally different on the bottom outlines. So even that wasn't consistent. So, you know, just massive problems all around. So I had to do, or well, I don't have to do anything, but I did a major overhaul in the chopper, of course. It was back at the beginning, okay. Okay, but the first thing I tried to do was make sure the border was all clean. So you can see like the tire and like these lines are a lot smoother. I just manually repainted all that, repainted this. I left some of most of the interior art alone. I could have messed with it, but it would have taken me like another 4 days of like 6-hour work, no joke. So I went here, tried my best to figure out what the original art of the blades should look like, or the helicopter blade should look like, using what was actually there. It still looks a little funky, but that's not necessarily on Vogel. So you can see the blades there. They're all smoothed out and sharpened into better lines. Okay, but the blades, like, they're sort of weird looking. Like, the angles on them just look weird. Like on number 5 here, like the verticality on that one, it looks insane to me. And I don't know, there's like they're too short or too long at different spots. And I only really had his busted art to work with, so if it looks natural in the original art before his damage, I wouldn't be able to tell you. But it just looks still off to me, but I did my best to like repair the art. So yeah, that's the chopper now. And finally, here's my version of the stage. As you can see, a lot of the pixels are gone now around the leaves. Most of the damage is gone. Not that you can get the greatest look at the chopper when it's going by, but it's of course like it's all smoothed out now. I toyed with the idea of having this guy like fade out before the bike went by, but I decided not to mess with it and just keep it how it was. See, like there's an extra copy of Zero going by now. So yeah, that's it. Bound pull problem is fixed. See, I can walk left without pulling the character to the left as well.